Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday, April 20th. As you can see on the board behind me, today we're going to be doing some writing about Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 12. Now, at the time of this recording, I just got done grading the Chapter 12 summaries. And I'd like to say I'm very proud of some of the students who are working really hard and making improvements with their writing. However, there are only 44 students as of right now that actually handed that assignment in on time. And that leaves a large percentage of you that do not have it done on time. And now in the fourth quarter, as I announced in class the other day, late work I will still accept, but I will only accept it for 1 week past the due date. It takes tremendous time and effort to continually go back searching through all of these assignments, finding late work. And I'm not teaching you guys anything about responsibility if I continue to allow you to hand in work at any time. Okay, so for you and for me, I am giving you a 1 week limit on late work. So anybody that doesn't have their Chapter 10 quiz in, again, I know that I'm filming this for April 20th, and we just got done with the Chapter 10 quiz, and I'm recording this on April 14th. But I'm telling all of you right now, with all assignments, all right, you need to work on getting them in on time. It is the fourth quarter. You guys have been doing virtual learning now for 3 quarters of the year. All right, that means you guys have been well into this for about 7 to 8 months. So getting the assignments, understanding how to access video lessons, and knowing the virtual live class schedule, you guys should all know that by now very clearly. It should be very easily. You should all know how to easily access all of your assignments, and you guys should all have a plan for getting your work done. So by now, by this time of year, you guys are really going to be held more accountable. So once 1 week goes past, okay, you are no longer allowed to, well, you can still hand them in, but I'm not going to go back and grade work that is over 1 week late. All right, we're reading a book, and so as you can see today, we're going to be working on writing for Chapter 12, so I don't want to be going back and reading summaries from Chapter 7. And you doing summaries from Chapter 7 really does you no good if you're doing them 3-4 weeks after we've done the readings. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, that is my one announcement I have to make to you guys today about your work. So to all the people that are getting their work in on time, congratulations to you guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back. And for everybody that needs a little reminder, this is your reminder that here we are, it's middle of April, it's almost May, and you guys really need to step it up here at the end of the school year. So, with all of that said, I want to jump right in because today, as I mentioned, we are going to be doing writing on Chapter 12. You guys know with writing, we have 2 assignments to do, so let me scroll down here and show you guys your homework and classwork for the day. Today, you guys are going to be doing the Chapter 12 quiz, and that will be found on Google Classroom. And you guys will be writing a summary of the chapter, and you'll be uploading a picture of it. You'll be doing this in your notebook on page 66. So let's scroll down into that interactive notebook table of contents. Okay, and here you guys can see yesterday we have our Chapter 12 notes on page 65. And today we will be writing the Chapter 12 summary on page 66. But first, let's take a second to review some discussion questions and then look at the quiz. So, now, I mentioned to you guys in the last video that the only way you can truly get the most out of these discussion questions is to join the live class. So if you have any means to join the live class, you guys should be joining the live class so you can answer these questions out loud. You can hear other people and their answers, and you can participate in the discussion. And in doing so, you guys are going to deepen your understanding, deepen your comprehension of the chapter, Anything that maybe you misunderstood, you guys are going to be able to have clarified for you. And again, it's going to be able to solidify the events of this chapter before going into trying to do a quiz and to write a summary about it. All right, these discussion questions are an invaluable tool for you guys when you're trying to do your quiz and summary. It takes you through all of the most important things. So here are some of the questions that I would want you guys to think about. At any time, you guys can pause the video to think about the answers. You could even engage in a discussion with someone at home. I know sometimes some of you watch these videos or join the live class at a friend's house, so two of you are logging on to Google Classroom together. All right, so feel free to pause this video because what I will do here is kind of read through them much more quickly than we would if we were to stop and have a good discussion in class like we normally would. But here are some things that you guys should think about. One, what does the sorting hat tell Harry? That's kind of where our chapter starts off. Harry is struggling with his internal conflict about him worrying that maybe he should have been in Slytherin. Maybe somehow he is truly the heir of Slytherin and he's responsible for all of these things. So he puts the sorting hat on. And so you guys should be able to answer, what does the sorting hat tell Harry? What happens to the bird in Dumbledore's office? Again, this is not necessarily a giant important detail that I would include in my summary, but it's certainly something that happened that stood out. What is special about Fawkes the Phoenix? By the way, Fawkes the Phoenix is the bird I referenced in the previous question. Do you think Harry should tell Dumbledore about the voice? Dumbledore asks Harry in this chapter, is there anything you want to tell me, Harry? And Harry thinks of all of these things that he should tell him. He should tell Harry about the voice. He should tell Dumbledore about the voice. He should tell Dumbledore about their plans to make Polyjuice Potion. He should tell Dumbledore about his thoughts about Draco. And so he has all of these ideas in his head of things that he should tell Dumbledore, but he decides not to. So the question is, do you think Harry should tell Dumbledore about the voice? Explain. And then here's some other ways to think about that same idea. If you were Harry, would you tell Dumbledore about the voice? As another way to think about that question. Harry, Ron, and Hermione finally drink the Polyjuice Potion. And I think that's really the main idea of this chapter. So again, see how watching these videos is really giving you valuable information. All right. This is a chapter where Harry and Ron and Hermione finally have been talking about this Polyjuice Potion for 2 or 3 chapters. And this is the chapter where they finally drink the Polyjuice Potion and they get the information that they were looking for. So Harry, Ron, and Hermione drink the Polyjuice Potion on Christmas. How do you spend your Christmas? This is a level 3 question. So I'm just taking something from the chapter and I'm pulling that event out and I'm applying it to your own life. Harry, Ron, and Hermione spend their Christmas drinking the Polyjuice Potion and getting information from Malfoy. Who do Harry, Ron, and Hermione turn themselves into with the Polyjuice Potion? That's a level 1 question. How long will they have before they turn back into themselves? Again, this is a level 1 question. The only place you can find that answer is right in the book, and the book tells you. What happens when they drink the potion? What do Harry and Ron learn from Malfoy? Again, these are level 1 questions. There is more than one answer because they learn a lot from Malfoy. So there is really, only one correct answer, but that one correct answer includes many details and many things that they learned. In the end, what does the Polyjuice Potion do to Hermione? And here's a great level 2 question for you to think about when it comes to your reflection of your summary. If you were Harry, Ron, or Hermione, what would you do next? Their whole plan was to drink this Polyjuice Potion, and then that way they would discover that Draco was the heir of Slytherin, and then they could probably tell some adult. But they didn't learn that Draco was the heir of Slytherin. So after they use the Polyjuice Potion, they do learn a lot of important information, but they don't learn what they thought they were going to learn. So the question remains, what should Harry, Ron, and Hermione do now? Okay, so pause the video if you needed to at any point to take some time to think about those questions. And now, guys, here are the directions for your quiz. And some of you, again, are getting very good at answering your quiz questions, understanding what it means to write in fully developed, complete sentences with capitals and periods. And other people are not putting in the effort. I hate to say it, but I think they're being a little bit lazy, especially since in every single one of these videos for the first half of the book, I have basically written these answers with you. So all it would require from a student's part was just to watch the videos, and you would work with me as I give you the answers, and you could be typing them in. I have quite literally typed in many of these answers into the computer and let you guys work right along with me. And even when I haven't done that, I've shown you how to start your answers. I have led you in discussion questions so you know what the answers are going in. So I have supplied you with every tool that you need to be successful. And if you are scoring in the 10, 20, 30, 40% range, and there are many students that are, these are students that are not putting in the effort, the 6th grade effort that they need to do to succeed, to meet the 6th grade standards. All right? I know that this has been a big change in the second half of the year. In the first half of the year, we focused on engagement and comprehension. The second half of the year, we are focusing on critical thinking and writing. And many people are taking a back seat and they're not putting in the effort that they need to show the 6th grade teachers that they can meet all of those 6th grade standards. So once again, I say to you, if this applies to you, you guys need to put forth the effort. Watch the videos, join the live stream classes, and let's get this work done. So here are the directions. Read each question and answer in a complete sentence. You must answer in a fully developed complete sentence, which includes using proper nouns, words from the question, and specific details. If you do not answer in a complete sentence, you will not be able to earn full credit. 6th grade standards require you to write in a fully developed complete sentence, and that will be the expectation on all of your quizzes. For the quiz, you must go to Google Classroom. So right now, I'm going to click over here. I'm going to go to my Google Classroom. On the stream, you guys know you can always find the lessons here again. So you can click right here. It'll take you to the blog for the lesson, or you can click on the video right here. So let's go ahead and click over on the Classworks tab. You can see I have many lessons scheduled for you guys already. So you guys don't have to scroll down, but I do. And I need to scroll down here to the Chapter 11 quiz, the Dueling Club. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Chapter 11 quiz, the Chapter 12 quiz, the Polyjuice Potion. So I open it up, and here I click on the quiz. Let me blow this up and make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay, first question. Write your name first and last. On the very last quiz that I just gave, there are some people that lost this point. And I still, as a 6th grade teacher, I do not understand how people are not understanding. You write your name with capital letters. So, my name would look as such, with a capital R and a capital T. You guys have to capitalize your name, and you got to write your full name. That is the expectation. Question number 1 reads this. Do you think Harry is making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice? Explain your reasoning. All right, this is one of the first level 2 questions that I'm asking you on a quiz that's worth points here. All right, most of my questions have been level 1 questions where there is an answer right in the book. This answer is not right in the book. You need information from the book to answer this question, but every single student might answer this question differently. Some people might think Harry is making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore. Other people might say, no, Harry is not making the right choice, okay, to not tell Dumbledore about the voice. So this is one I'm going to show you. I'm going to answer this in 2 sentences, okay? One, I'm going to answer the first part. Do I think Harry's making the right choice? and then it asks you to explain your reasoning. So you need to have some kind of thinking behind your answer. All right, so if you think Harry is making the right choice, that's what you would say. You would say, I think, and that's how I would start my answer. I think Harry, and I'm going to write exactly what this says. I am not going to change a word, and I'm not going to spell anything incorrectly. That is something else that many people are doing, which shows a lack of effort, and it shows laziness. Words that are right in the question. People are spelling names wrong, like Dumbledore, not putting a capital or dropping off this E, or a lowercase h on Harry, or even maybe misspelling the word choice. There's a lot of that going on, and that is pure laziness when you are misspelling words from the question. Now, lack of effort comes when there are words in our book. Maybe they're not in the question, but all the words are in your book. And the other place where these words should be is in your notes, and that's what I'm opening right here. Okay? Now you can see I've got a lot of notes on chapter 12 here. Okay? Words like polyjuice, just all of these words in here. You should not be spelling words correctly. If you are, again, this is a lack of effort. You need to go back into the text and you need to make sure you're spelling words correctly. All right, so here we go. I'm not going to change any words. I think Harry is making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice. All right, and we can end with a period. I've answered, I think Harry is making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice. Now I got to explain my reasoning. And please don't say my reasoning is. Just say something like in the text, okay, or in the story. You could say that. All right, tell me what is happening in the story that made you answer that way. Okay, that is one thing. So you could say in the story, you might talk about what Ron tells him. You could talk about how everybody's got the rumors that think that he is. You might talk about how Harry's got this internal conflict that he himself thinks maybe he's the heir. There's lots of ways that you could explain your reasoning. All right, but please don't say my reasoning, and don't say this. Okay, do not do this. I've seen this. Don't do that. I think this because. Or even worse, is this. Okay, I've seen a lot of students do this where they repeat themselves. They'll say, I think Harry is making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice. I think Harry is making the right choice because... My goodness, please don't do this. It's called being redundant. You're repeating yourself. All right? And when you do that, the reader wants to hit themselves on the head. Don't repeat yourself. Don't say, I think this because. Don't say, I think Harry is making the right choice because. If you want to answer this in one sentence and you don't want to do it in two, okay, I would answer it in two. Okay, and I would do like I said. I would say in the story, and then I would provide my reasoning. But you could just do this. Comma, because. All right, that's simple. All right, I think Harry is making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice because. And then just provide your reason. All right, now, let's say you think Harry is not making the right choice. That's what you have to say. We're going to take exactly all the words out of here. So, I think Harry is not making the right choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice. Period. I can go back here, fix my typo, come back here. And then again, this is where I would say in the story, and I would explain my reasoning. What is happening in the story that makes me think that Harry's not making the right choice? I could also say, I think Harry is making the wrong choice to not tell Dumbledore. That way I get rid of my double negative there. I think Harry is making the wrong choice to not tell Dumbledore about the voice in the story. And again, get into your reasoning. All right, you might talk about what you would even do. All right, so now that we've talked about this, again, each one of you, you have to answer it in one of the two ways. Either Harry is making the right choice or he's not making the right choice, so he'd be making the wrong choice. You need to explain your reasoning. And I've talked about the spelling of words, okay, and your mechanics. Words like I always get a capital. First words of sentences always get capitals, okay? Names always get capitals. Let's go on and let's read question number 2. What did Harry and Ron find out from Malfoy when they were disguised? All right, now, please, let's not do this. Harry and Ron found out, or actually, this is how I can imagine what a lot of you guys would do. What Harry and Ron found out from Malfoy when they were disguised was, I don't know why it's answering it like that. Let me take a second and fix that question for you guys. Okay, I fixed that question, and so now you guys can actually see what I wrote. And I anticipate a lot of people are probably going to start their answer like this. All right, and this would not be the right way. So I'm showing you the wrong way here. Do not answer like this. What Harry and Ron found out from Malfoy when they were disguised was. All right, this is really very poor grammar. All right, all you're doing is repeating the question. So think about this. If I was to ask, what did Harry and Ron find out from Malfoy when they were disguised? What would I actually begin with? The answer is the end. I would begin with this. Oops, I don't want emojis. When Harry and Ron were disguised, they found out. Now, this is another one where I think I would answer it in several several sentences. And I'm going to use the word several next. When Harry and Ron were disguised, they found out several things from Malfoy. That would be my first sentence. Okay? The question asks, what did Harry and Ron find out from Malfoy when they were disguised? My answer, I flip it around. When Harry and Ron were disguised, they found out several things from Malfoy. And now I'm going to get into what they found out. They found out, and then I would simply write down all the details, okay? They found out several things from him. Now here, I'm not going to give you the answer, all right? The answer is in the discussion questions. What happens when they drink the potion? What do Harry and Ron learn from Malfoy? Join the live class and you'll listen to the discussion and people are going to talk about all the things that Harry and Ron learned from Malfoy. The other place where this information should be is in your notes. Okay, I got a whole bunch of stuff right in here, okay, about things that Ron and Harry learned when they were disguised. All right, so when it comes to your answer here, try to include as many things as you can. All right, let's go on to the third question. What did the Polyjuice potion do to Hermione? All right, and again, don't begin your answer like this. what the... Oh, polyjuice potion is a proper noun. I got to capitalize it. Okay. Do not begin like this. And again, I think some people will. What the polyjuice potion did to Hermione was... Okay, again, that's really poor sentence structure. The question is asking you, what did the polyjuice potion do to Hermione? So, what am I going to begin with? I'm going to begin with the polyjuice potion. Okay, the polyjuice potion. Or I could begin with when Hermione drank the polyjuice potion. So, there's a couple ways I could start this. Okay, I could say the polyjuice potion, and what did it do? Blank to Hermione. I could do it like that. Now, I've got an error in that sentence. You guys should have caught it right there. Hermione is a proper noun. She needs capital. Okay, so I could answer it like this. The polyjuice potion, blank, and in that blank is where you would put what did it do? What did it do to Hermione? So you'd put it that way. Or I could answer the question like this. When Hermione drank the polyjuice potion, comma, it, again, blank. What did it do? It made her sprout wings and she flew away like a dragon. By the way, that's not the answer. She didn't sprout wings and fly away like a dragon. But that's how you could word your answer, okay? So you could do it in this first way or here in this second way. It's really your choice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've covered all of the questions on your quiz. I would like to just remind you once again about the rules of writing. And these apply not just to your summary. I'm going to scroll way down here, all right? About all, this is really, again, some of these are more applicable to your summaries, but putting spaces in between your words, proper capitalization and punctuation, spelling matters. You should not be spelling words from the book incorrectly, especially characters' names. All right. So let me just go back here and clear out my answers. All right, so now what you guys know that you need to do, make sure that you have finished all of your answers. You could have paused the video as I went through each question, or now that I'm done, you guys can go back and you can answer your quiz questions. When you are done, make sure you proofread your answers so that you are fully happy. I'd like to see students starting getting higher grades, 80s, 90s, 100s on these quizzes. In fact, every single one of you is capable of getting hundreds because we are doing these readings live in class. So I'm not asking you guys to do any homework. All right, all you have to do, whether you're home or in school, is join us. We do all of the reading out loud. We do all of the discussion questions together. We do the quizzes together and we do the summaries together, or at least in a small group, all except for the 3 chapters where I ask you guys to do them independently for quiz grades, so I can evaluate you independently and how your writing is coming along. If you're actually doing the work, your writing should be getting so much stronger by this point. We are well through the first half of the book, and believe it or not, after this, we've only got 6 chapters to go. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. That's it. 6 more chapters. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, when you are done, make sure you submit your quiz. And then come on back to the blog. Okay? When you come on back to the blog, activity number 2, and you guys know your second part of your assignment for today, for the people that are live in person, they will be doing the 45-second summary challenge. For the people that are home and are virtual, you guys will be participating in your own way in this challenge. You just won't be able to be reading your summaries out loud like we will be in person. But all of these same rules apply to you. So in this challenge, you guys are going to work with the members of your house. Now, again, if you join the virtual class, you'll just work with the other virtual students. Okay? But you're going to work together to write a summary. Your summary will be written on the page right next to your notes. All right, so let's right now take a minute and set up that page in our notebook. All right, I've got to find my pencil so I can add the date. Okay, here it is. The title of this page is Chapter 12 Summary. This is page 66 in your notebook. And as I said, I think today the date was April 20th. Okay, so I'm going to add that date right now. And I will repeat to each of you, it is very important that you include these things. All right, so to review, your summaries need to include these three things. And after I just got done grading the Chapter 10 summaries, and I can tell you guys, the biggest thing that most people lost points on is the main idea. When I grade your quizzes, they're worth 10 points. And you get 2 points for the main idea. And so if you don't have a main idea and you just jump into the details, boom, automatically the highest grade you can get is 8 out of 10. Because you left off your main idea. You lose 2 points right away. You have to include the main idea. And in this chapter, I'm actually going to show you my summary, but in all of the discussions we've had, we've really learned that there's a better main idea out there than the one that I put in my notes. Because, as I said in this video, and in the previous video, the main idea of this is that Harry, Ron, and Hermione finally drink the Polyjuice Potion. That's kind of the big idea. It's Christmas time, and they finally drink the potion. Okay? The most important details from the chapter. Your details, because there's lots of them, those are worth 4 points. All right? And again, I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for 4 details, but I'm looking that you have included all of the most important details. So the details are the biggest part of your summary. They're worth 4 points. And then your reflection, which is your own thoughts about the events of the chapter. It doesn't say your own thoughts about whether or not you thought the chapter was good or not. Okay? Some people are still struggling with this idea, and they like to end with, I thought the chapter was good, or I thought the chapter was scary, or I thought the chapter was eventful. You're in the right direction, but you got to take it the next step further. And I always encourage kids to put yourselves in one of the characters' shoes. Ask a question like if you were Harry or if you were Ron. Or go back to the discussion questions, all right, and think about some of the level 2 questions. If you were Harry, Ron, and Hermione, what do you think they should do next? So you say, if I was Harry, I would go tell Dumbledore about the voices that I heard. Or if I was Harry, I would confront Malfoy and the other Slytherins directly. Or if I was Harry, I would tell Ron's dad to go confront Mr. Malfoy about the room he has in his house that we learned about. All right, what do you think they should do next? And also thinking about their feelings. If I was Harry, I would feel scared. If I was Harry, I would be nervous about the voice. All right, this is the kind of thing that we really want to be reflecting on. We don't reflect on whether or not we thought the chapter was good. Okay, while that's a step in the right direction, it's not a reflection. A reflection is looking back into the chapter and specifically putting yourself in there and thinking about what would you do, what would you think, what would you feel, all right, if you were these characters, okay, and really reacting to them, making connections with these characters. When you say, I thought the chapter was suspenseful, you're disconnecting yourself. You're keeping yourself outside of the book as the reader, and the characters exist elsewhere. I want you to get into the book, all right, and I want you to reflect, all right, putting yourself into the book. So your summary needs those 3 things. And you can see 2 points, 4 points, and 2 points for your reflection. That equals 8 points. The other 2 points is your mechanics. And when we talk about your mechanics, we are talking here about the rules of writing. We are talking about your capitalization, your punctuation, your spelling, and your sentence structure. So that is worth 2 points. So you could write a main idea, and if your main idea was good, but even if there were tons of spelling errors, or you had some grammar errors, capitalization errors, you could still earn the 2 points for the main idea. You might lose the points for the mechanics, but you'll earn the 2 points for the main idea. All right, so each one of these pieces is evaluated independently, and then I also evaluate your mechanics. So there are some kids that will receive a score of 8 out of 10, and they'll have all of the parts, but they have made many mechanical errors, and so they lose those 2 points. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is what your summary needs. I would challenge you right now to pause the video. Find a timer. Go to your phone and set a timer on your phone or your tablet or your computer, or just look at a clock. All right? Give yourselves, because you're working, if you're doing this at home, if you're working independently, give yourself a good 15, 20 minutes to write. All right? This shouldn't take much longer than that. Okay? In school, we do writing for 15 minutes. That's it. I put you on a timer. You have 15 minutes to work with the people in your house to write your summary. All right? So I push you to write quickly. Because the last thing I want to say is there's a big difference between summarizing and retelling. That's something that I noticed on the Chapter 10 summaries. Several students, when it came to the details, instead of earning all 4 points, they earned 3 out of 4. And it's not because they didn't include enough details, but it's because they included way too many details. They weren't summarizing the chapter, telling me the most important details. They were retelling every single detail of the chapter. Summarizing is not retelling. All right? So when I think about this chapter, all right, and I'm just looking at my notes now before I even show you my summary. When I think about this chapter, okay, I would have a sentence or two. All right? First of all, I'd have my main idea. That's one sentence. And then I would have a sentence or two here about what goes on in Dumbledore's office, all right, with Harry, Dumbledore, the bird, and Hagrid. Okay? If you're retelling me every single thing that happened in Dumbledore's office, too many things. If you're talking about Fawkes bursting into flames, we don't need to have all of that. Okay? Harry goes to Dumbledore's office. Dumbledore doesn't believe it's him. Boom, move on. Okay? Remember, the name of this chapter is called the Polyjuice Potion. So I should focus mostly on the drinking of the Polyjuice Potion and what happens. All right? Then here, again, it's Christmas. I'm not going to write about their Christmas presents. The Christmas presents are so irrelevant. So if you're starting to include details about the Christmas presents, again, you're retelling. You're not summarizing. All right, what is important in this chapter is, one, Harry doesn't get into trouble with Dumbledore. Dumbledore believes that Harry's not responsible. Okay, it's Christmas time and they drink the potion. I don't get into all the details about how they found and how they got the hairs from Crabbe and Goyle. Again, it's irrelevant. What is important, though, is that they drink the potion. And then they find the Slytherin common room. They get in to question Malfoy, and they learn some important things from Malfoy. And when they get back, Hermione has been turned into a cat. All right? You'll see, even as I just retell you that, I'm retelling only the most important details. Okay? So, when you're summarizing, if you are finding it is taking you 30, 40, 50 minutes, you are probably trying to retell. Do not retell. Summarize. And when you summarize, you will find that your summaries should be no more, and I really mean no more, than maybe 1 page of hand-printed text. When you look at my summary here, all right, you can see it starts right here. I have my main idea written in blue. Then I have my details written in black. And I have my reflection in red. My reflection was a little bit longer in this one. I used 2 sentences to write my reflection. All right, but still, look at all this room I have at the bottom of the page. So my summary is about maybe 3/4 of a page long, maybe 4/5 of a page long. It's not 2 or 3 pages. So let me share my summary with you. Again, if you want to challenge yourself right now, write your own summary and then come back and you can compare yours to mine. All right, so here's my summary, my main idea. It is now Christmas time at Hogwarts, but Harry worries more and more each day that he might be the heir of Slytherin and not even know it. Okay, now that's what I wrote down as my main idea. And again, even me, as I reflect and I think back to my main idea, I think I would rewrite this. I think that I would change it. I think that I would include the first part. It is now Christmas time at Hogwarts. But I think I would include, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione finally drink the Polyjuice Potion. I really think that I would change that. Okay, so if I was to be editing and revising my own writing, I'd get rid of this. But Harry worries more. This is an important detail, but it's not really the main idea, if you ask me. Okay, I'd get rid of that. And I would say it's now Christmas time at Hogwarts. And I know this is going to be hard and sloppy to see, but Harry, Ron, and Hermione finally drink the Polyjuice Potion. Period. Again, I know that that's a little bit hard to see. I wrote it in red so it stands out compared to the blue. But, so, again, even teachers, again, as I write my main idea, I was happy with my main idea when I originally wrote it. I think it does cover the main idea somewhat. But as I look back and I critically think, and that's what you guys need to do as writers that so many of you don't like to do. You like to write something down and just say, that's it, I wrote it, it's done. You don't ever go back and look to see, do I have proper capitals? Do I have proper punctuation? Is it a real sentence? Is it a fragment? Or is it a run-on sentence? Those are all things you have to do. But then you also have to critically think about what you actually wrote. And that's what I'm showing you right here. I'm saying, you know what? What I wrote is good, but it can be better. It can encompass the main idea. The more that I've discussed this chapter with you guys, and the more I look at the title and I look at the events, the main idea of this chapter is about them drinking the Polyjuice Potion and what happens as a result of it. The whole chapter really kind of encompasses the drinking of the Polyjuice Potion. It's not just about Harry's worries that he might be a Slytherin. So this is an example of where I am saying, make sure that you are critically thinking about your writing. So you can see here, I've gone back and I've edited my writing. So this is the way it would read now, and I think it's better. It is now Christmas time at Hogwarts, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione finally drink the Polyjuice Potion. Details. Harry, Ron, and Hermione finish the potion, and they drink it one night while most of the other students are home for the holiday. Using the potion, Ron and Harry get into the Slytherin common room with Draco, disguised as Crabbe and Goyle. Again, notice how I get right to that. All right? Here I've got one sentence, they finish the potion and they drink it while the rest of the students are away for the holiday. That's one sentence. Then my second sentence is, they use the potion to get into the Slytherin common room as Crabbe and Goyle. That's two sentences. All right? And within two sentences of my details, I don't get into all the details about making the sleeping draft for Crabbe and Goyle and pulling the hairs and locking them in the cupboard. All right, and them having 3 glasses to drink. All of those details, they're important, they're details, okay? But when I'm summarizing, you leave them out, and you focus on what's pushing the story forward. First, Harry, Ron, and Hermione finish the Polyjuice Potion, okay? They got to finish it before they can drink it, right? They finish it, and they drink it. When do they do this? One night while most of the other students are home for the holiday. Because it's Christmas time. My next sentence is, they use the potion, using the potion, Ron and Harry get into the Slytherin common room. I skip over all that stuff with Percy, with all about the stuff with the changing of the clothes. So not important. Not important. Okay? In fact, it's so not important that when we watch it in the movie does this very differently. All right? Because again, the movie, when you have to make a book into a movie, the movie has to get the most important details right. But those unimportant details, they can change because they got to keep the story moving. When we read a book, we got 16 chapters, all right? In our book, we got 400 plus pages where we can tell the story. A movie's got to do it in 90 minutes or 2 hours, so they can only put the most important stuff in. So again, you think about it. I know a lot of you have seen these movies, all right? Make sure that, again, you're thinking almost like a movie maker. What's going to get me to the next scene? Okay? They got to finish the potion, then they got to drink the potion. All of the other students are home for the holiday. Harry and Ron get into the Slytherin common room. They're disguised as Crabbe and Goyle. Boom. And that gets us to the most important stuff in the chapter, which is what they learn from Draco. So, let's continue to read in my details. Draco reveals that when the chamber was opened 50 years ago, someone died. Harry and Ron race back to see Hermione. They found out she is partially turned into a cat, and they are going to take her to the hospital wing. Alright, now, remember, when we talked about this, we talked about how Draco revealed at least 2, 3, 4 things to Ron and Harry. He informed them about how Ron's dad is being investigated. I could have added that, but he also included about how his dad mentioned a couple other things. And see, so right now I'm even having trouble remembering them. Out of all the things that Draco did reveal to him, all right, these were the 2 biggest things that I thought was, 1, the chamber was opened 50 years ago, so it has been opened before, and someone died. So I've included 2 things that Draco reveals to Ron and Harry. Draco reveals when the chamber was opened 50 years ago. So again, he's confirmed it has been opened. It was 50 years ago. Someone died. All right. And again, I don't get into all the details about the paper or Ron and Harry starting to slowly change back and having to run back. All right. What do I get to? Ron and Harry, or Harry and Ron, race back to see Hermione. Okay. No other details. They find out she is partially turned into a cat. And they're going to take her to the hospital wing. Again, I'm sticking to everything that's driving the story forward in my summary. Okay, so now that I have that, I feel very confident. Now that I've edited my main idea, I've got 2 points from my main idea. I've included the most important details from the chapter. I'm feeling solid. I feel like those 4 points, I've earned them. Now I've got to earn my 2 points for my reflection. So, let's take a look at it. This is what I wrote. Something very different than I think most of you guys would write. I wonder if all their hard work with the Polyjuice Potion was a waste. They didn't really learn anything new. And Harry could still tell a teacher about the voice, which I think would be more helpful. Alright? So I don't say, if I was Harry, what I would do next. I kind of go back and I say, you know what? I think these guys just wasted their time. Everything that they did with this Polyjuice Potion, ultimately, they truly haven't learned a whole heck of a lot. Okay, yes, he did reveal some things, but he just kind of confirmed suspicions. Things that they already thought were true, he kind of revealed to them. I think that they could have found out this information from so many other people. From Hagrid, from Dumbledore, from the teachers. Alright, they already found out a bunch of stuff from Professor Binns about it, so they could have very easily spoken to teachers and learned that the chamber was opened 50 years ago, and they could have learned that someone died when it opened before. So my reflection was, I wonder if all of their hard work with the Polyjuice Potion was a waste. They didn't really learn anything new, and Harry could still tell a teacher about the voice, which I think would be more helpful. You see, in so many of my summaries, I keep coming back to Harry and this voice. Why is Harry not telling someone about the voice? He really needs to, in my opinion. Of course, if I was the author and Harry told the teacher about the voice, our story probably wouldn't be quite as exciting. Our hero would not be going through quite the road of trials, so I'm not saying that J.K. Rowling should change her story. I'm simply saying that if these characters, if this was all really happening in real life, boy, would I want Harry to tell a teacher, because I do think that that would be the quickest and easiest resolution to this problem. But again, J.K. Rowling is not trying to write the quickest and the easiest resolution to the problem. She's trying to write the most exciting resolution, one that's going to keep us reading. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, if you've not already written your summary, take some time. Use what I've showed you, okay, about how I wrote my summary, how I critically thought about my summary, and how I made some changes to it. and make sure that you guys are writing yourself a good, solid summary. With these ones, these are practice. The next time I'm going to evaluate you guys is going to be with chapter 15. So you guys have chapters 12, this one, 13, and 14, where you guys are going to be able to practice. You guys, if you join the virtual class, you'll be able to work with this virtually. All right, if you're at home, and then of course, if you're here in class, you guys know that you guys will be working with your housemates. All right, when you're done with your summary, do not forget, okay, to come back over here, click on your chapter 12 summary. Make sure that you guys upload a good, clear picture of your summary. All right, so with all of that said, guys, next time I see you, we will be reading chapter 13, and we will be completing another set of notes. Don't forget, if you are an A or a B day student, that you make sure that you're asking for sticky notes if you like those. I did have one student on this previous A day told me he really liked sticky notes, and of course I gave him a full brand new packet of sticky notes so he could use those when he was home on the B days, so he would have sticky notes. I know that it's a popular strategy for many students, but I think many students aren't using it as much this year because so many times you guys are doing your notes, you are at home doing your notes, and you don't have access to sticky notes. Alright, so with that said, I'm looking forward to reading the next chapter. Alright, Harry, I just want to take 1 second here and flip back here before I close out our video. Remember, Harry is on this thing called the Hero's Journey. In my homeroom class and in one of our discussions, we were speaking about what stages he is up to. Harry is well out of Act 1. Through the ordinary world, through his call to adventure, entering the unknown. We see supernatural aid and meeting with the mentor that's woven throughout. He goes to Hagrid when Ron is puking up slugs. He does get sent to Dumbledore, but in this last chapter, okay, Dumbledore is there to provide support for him. Even though Harry doesn't take it, Dumbledore is there, not to accuse him, but to support him. Okay? His allies and his helpers in Act 2, Ron and Hermione, we see them woven together throughout this entire thing. It's Hermione and Ron who drink the Polyjuice potion. Hermione ends up turned into a cat because she's supporting Harry. Okay, so we see this. And this is really where we are. We are in Act 2, Stage 2, the Road of Trials. The Road of Trials is a series of tests the person must undergo. The hero progresses through this series of tests or set of obstacles that make them stronger, preparing them for the final showdown. And these trials, these obstacles get harder and harder and harder until Harry meets the supreme ordeal, which we're almost to. Alright, by the time we get into chapters 14 and 15, let me look here. Chapter 14, Cornelius Fudge. 15, it's really 15 and 16 and 17. We get about 3 big chapters there where we are really hitting into the supreme ordeal. I think looking at it now, I would say it's really chapters 16 and 17 where Harry is in the supreme ordeal. So we're just a few short chapters away from this most exciting part of the book. Alright? And we know that the obstacles that Harry faces are going to continue to get harder and harder. So again, I just ask you to continue to think about this hero's journey as we continue to read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So as I said, next time we'll be reading chapter 13. I look forward to doing that with you. Until then, guys, have a great afternoon, have a great night, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.